The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Friday, the 10th day of October 2025. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BEDC group of companies, Medical House, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and a big shout out to HSBC Bermuda for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves on Hot 107.5 with these most important community conversations. I'm Jamel Hartman, and Taylor Dill will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in the news break brought to you by People's. Happy Friday to everyone. How's everyone doing today? Welcome. Happy Friday to one and all. It is the final day of the traditional work week. And I always say traditional work week because if I say the end of the week, someone's going to be like, well, I have to work tomorrow. And you know how it goes. So I try to be very, very clear and respectful of all people. All right. But hopefully, honestly, I really do hope everyone has had a great week, especially those who go into offices or have the traditional 9-to-5 job or career. I've said it on this show before, and I know a lot of you know this is true. You live it. But if you polled the population, I guarantee you, the majority of people do not like their job, or at least the company or organization they do it for. But we need to work. So that said, I really do hope everyone has had a fantastic week. And hopefully it was one of those weeks that you do love what you do or love your job. All right. Well, anyway, greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Kelly Madeiros on from Solstice for this segment of Vendor Fridays brought to you by the BEDC. And it just so happens that it's World Mental Health Day, and Solstice has done a lot of work and is continuing to do the work in this space. So really looking forward to how mental health practices are faring in the economy today. The daily players are things you should know. So I think I know this answer. But anyway, things you should know. So get prepared. Folks, do us a favor. If you haven't already, go to our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right. It is Friday Fun Day brought to you by our friends at Mailboxes. And this is your daily discussion. And the daily discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Let me just do something real quickly before we jump into the conversation. I'm going to ask the audience. I'm going to do a quick early roll call before we jump in today, because it's game day in Bermuda, folks. It's game day. Where are you tuned in from? Just type, let us know where you tuned in, represent. And if you're in Bermuda, say where, what parish or what area you're in, right? So for instance, if you're in Bermuda and you're in Hamilton Parish, you could say Bay or Kroll or, whatever. If you're in Smiths, you can say Devil's Hill, or if you're in Warwick, you can say Cedar Hill. And, let's be specific. But represent, let's do a roll call. Where are you tuned in from right now? We've got Dr. Anthony Richardson says London, England. London, England. What part of London? Are we talking North London? Are we talking Chelsea area? South London? Oh, East London near West Ham and Essex. What part of London, sir? Yeah, you all didn't know I knew London like that. I don't. I spent a lot of time in England, in Essex when I was much younger in the 90s, but knew my way to I think it's downtown Oxford when I was younger. But we've got Dr. Anthony Richardson says Central Court District near Holborn. See, I'm not familiar, but hopefully you're having a wonderful day out there in London, Dr. Anthony Richardson. Where are you at, folks? We're asking people, roll call. Let us know where you're tuned in from. We've got Manuela John says Wellington, St. George's. And I love St. George's 2 days of the year, but they don't love me back, according to the results since 2012. Pam Bay says North Shore, Pembroke West. Yes, North Shore, Pembroke West. Oh, Stacey Ann Brown, we're in Smiths. What part of Smiths? You Devil's Hill, you in Flats? What part of Smiths? Where are you? Nick, look, we're doing a roll call. But hey, folks, it's Friday Funday. We've got Manchester, the UK, says Shayna Williams. Manchester, all right. I know a little bit about Manchester. Never been to Manchester of all the times I've been to England, but I've never been to Manchester. I know you all like, weren't you or aren't you a Manchester United fan? Word's probably the best word, but no, I've only seen Manchester United play outside of England. We've got Stacey Ann Brown says Harrington Sound Smiths. All right. We've got Kenton Trot says good morning, TDH family. I'm at headquarters, Devonshire, but want to be in God's country, which is St. David's, St. George's. All right, there you go. All right, folks, let's get to our question of the morning. Again, it's Friday Funday, brought to you by our friends at Mailboxes, and this is your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Here is the question. We've got, it's game day. Bermuda is going up against Trinidad, a powerhouse in the region. And the question of the morning is, who are some of your favorite Bermudian footballers of all time? Who are some of your favorite Bermudian footballers of all time? And how are you supporting our men's national football team? How are you supporting our men's national football team? And let me just make it clear now. Support looks different, folks. Support could simply be on the Daily Hour and giving them a shout out. And then it going on social media. Trust me, it makes a difference. I remember when we did something in August and we shared with the young cricket team what some of you were saying, and the way they smiled when you we were sharing your words with them. It means a lot. Trust me. Knowing that people support you and are behind you, it means a lot. So you supporting your own way, but how are you supporting our men's national football team? And who are your who are some of your favorite Bermudian footballers of all time? And let's look. Back in the day, many of us used to go to football games, right? Back in the day, football games were, and you're all gonna think I'm exaggerating, but I remember PHC back in the day, Devonshire Rack, I'm talking night games, used to be as packed as some of the county games you see. Seriously. But in the interest of game day, Friday Fun Day, let us know, audience. Let us know. Who are you? I'm going to go first. Well, let's go to our Instagram, actually. Let's go to our Instagram because we did put the question up on Instagram. And some of the answers we got on Instagram are Dwight Payback Warren, who played for both Boulevard and Knoll Village. And Man, who I think Man is his brother, Dennis Warren. So the Warren brothers. This person says on Instagram, Payback and Man, some of their favorite Bermudian footballers. And Dwight Payback Warren is the father of the late Marco Warren, who, again, another one of, a lot of people's favorite footballer. I remember people saying about Marco, so small, but so good. He was like, how they say Messi is so small, but so good and dominant in the game. But those are 3 people right there. Let's see who else we got on Instagram. We've got Kentwan Jennings. Who are some of your favorite Bermudian footballers of all time? Kentwan Jennings. And we've got Carlos Smith in his Dandytown days. Carlos Smith. So we've got Dwight Payback Warren, Dennis Mann Warren. We've got Kentwan Jennings. We've got Carlos Smith during his Dandytown days. Who else, audience? Who are some of your favorite Bermudian footballers of all time, and how are you supporting our men's national football team? We've got Kenton Trott says, my favorite local players have always been goalkeepers. Freddie Hall, yep, and Dale Eve, okay. Freddie Hall and Dale Eve. We've got Marquita Lee says, Payback and Michael Byron. All right. We've got Angeline Butler says, Coolidge, Boom LaBelle, Ralph Gumbo Bean, Dennis Brown, yes, Dwight Warren, Paul Rick Can, and Dr. Lou Simmons. Okay. There you go. I must be very young. I don't remember Dr. Lou Simmons playing football. Who did he play for? Like Somerset? And which Gumbo we talking about? Gumbo Senior or Gumbo Junior? See, I was too young to remember Gumbo Senior. But when I seen videos, woo. Kathy Dell Hayward Ming says Punchy Dill, Dale Russell, Greg Daniels, Denny Rogers. Okay. Dr. Anthony Richardson says Sean Goder. Kenton Trott says the great streaker as well. Look, Dwayne Streaker Adams is the best goalkeeper I've ever seen in my life in Bermuda, locally in Bermuda. Dwayne Streaker Adams was not the tallest, but his reflexes and positioning, his ability to use both feet, man, Dwayne Streaker Adams was just on another level as a goalkeeper for me. We've got Charles H. Jeffers II says Ralph Gumbo Bean Sr., Joe Trott, and Andrew Bascom, NVCC. Talk about Andrew Bascom, man. Andrew Bascom, I was very small, but, you know, if it were not for an injury, so many people say that Andrew Bascom may have been one of the best talents Bermuda ever had. But one thing I do appreciate about Andrew Bascom is his focus on giving back to the game as a coach and in a space he truly loves. But yeah, Andrew Bascom, a name that always comes up. Clyde Bess, yes, Clyde Bess went off at a very young age. Pamela Wade says Damon Wade, Dwayne Streaker Adams. I'm at a funny story about Damon Wade. I was watching the some Masters games last year or the year before, and I just remember a bunch of guys on the side speaking about his ability with his left foot, just saying, man, this guy's just still so silky. Like it's just, when we were growing up, if you were left-footed, it was almost like you had this advantage. But the way that these guys were like drooling over the way he was playing, and we're talking Masters, folks. Masters is like, I mean, I'm not trying to diss anybody, but it's the older fellas, if you get what I'm saying. It's like you had your day. But it was beautiful to see people still appreciating someone's skill, even though they were beyond their years. But Damon Wade, definitely a standout for North Village as well. Dr. Anthony Richardson says, yes, Streaker Adams, a legend. Indeed. And Janine Butler says, Dr. Lou Simmons was a goalkeeper for Somerset Trojans. Both Gumbos, my old roommate, Damon Wade, Timmy Figueredo. Yep. Oh, yes. Kathy Dale Hayward Ming says, don't forget Gary Tubb Mallory. Indeed. Who else, audience? Who else? I love this conversation. Who are some of your favorite Bermudian footballers of all time, and how are you supporting our men's national football team? Well, Dr. Anthony Richardson says, I've known a few of them for some time. I support them directly by words of encouragement, good, bad, or indifferent in terms of football. Indeed. Thank you for that, Dr. Anthony Richardson. What else, audience? Who are some of Bermuda's, your favorite, who are some of your favorite Bermudian footballers of all time? Some of your favorite Bermudian footballers. We've got over on Instagram, we've got Lorenzo Simons, says Talbot Crystal. Lorenzo Simons. Okay. Let's get back over here. We've got Marquita Lee says Stevie Riley. Angeline Butler says Kelly Simmons. Okay. I'm going to add to this list Elliot Jennings. Obviously, I have my bias with the North Village. Kyle Lightbourne. Kyle Lightbourne. Another goalkeeper back in the day, Carlisle Crockle. Carlisle Crockle was a very special footballer. Raymond Packy Beach. Raymond Packy Beach and Hayes Wolf. They were dominant in the early 2000s for both Dandytown and Devonshire Cougars. But Raymond Packy Beach and Hayes O'Brien Wolf. We've got Angeline Butler says Neil Painter. Which Neil Painter? That when he played for St. George's or St. David's? Not St. David's, Dandytown. But yeah, Neil Painter. A lot of people don't remember Neil Painter was a baller. Who else, audience? Who else you got? Some of your favorite Bermudian footballers of all time. I've got Kevin Jennings, man. Kevin Jennings was lightning fast. I mean, lightning fast. He was another special footballer. Local wise, Slimandy Davis played some good years over at Dandytown. I think he spent a season or two at North Village. Slimandy. Darren Simons, called him Duke at Dandytown. I know we mentioned someone on Instagram said Carlos Smith, but Darren Duke Simons was another one. Much success. Yes, how could I forget? Semi Swan, PHC back in the day. Semi Swan. Absolutely, absolutely. John Newsom. John Newsom. Yep. Marquita Lee says the late Marco Warren. The late Marco Warren. We've got Kenny Burt Buller Anderson, says Cameron Fox. Okay. We've got Kathy Dow Hayward Ming says my brother Gilbert Shaft Hayward. Come on, keep bringing it, folks. Keep bringing it. Some of your favorite footballers, favorite Bermudian footballers. We've got Andre Emery, says Angeline Butler. All right. Charles H. Jeffs II, he says, I love the nicknames. Correction. I recently learned that who we think is Gumbo Sr. is not the original Gumbo in his family. His older brother was the original Gumbo. Yes, I did learn that as well. I did learn that as well. But for the public's sake, you know. But yeah, he wasn't the original. Who else, audience? Some of your favorite Bermudian footballers of all time. Your favorite. I was going to say Teo Dale, but I'm like, it's not joke time. It's not joke time yet, folks. It's not joke time. We've got Shana Williams says Michael D. Horace Williams. I think that's Michael played for PHC, I think. He was very fast, if it's the right person, Michael Williams. We've got, this sums it up right here. All the Russells. All the Russells. And it's a lot. From Papa Townsy Russell, you've got Kia Russell, and some not Russells, Glenn Bean. Why am I forgetting? Antoine Russell. All the Russells. Yeah, you made it easy for me. All the Russells. Absolutely. You can't speak about favorite footballers without saying at least one Russell. Kwame Steed, says Dr. Anthony Richardson. Kevin Grant, Kathy Dow Hayward Ming. I was actually going to say Kevin Grant. I'm like, I wonder if people remember Kevin Grant playing for the Bermuda national team. We've got Cyril Duggo Steed, says Michael Matus. We've got Wendell Woodgate Simmons for Rangers, says Angeline Butler. See, I was going to ask earlier, Dr. Anthony Richardson says John Newsom Sr. and Jr. I was going to ask which one, because I know Jr., but says Dr. Anthony Richardson says John Newsom Sr. and Jr. We've got Shana Williams says, yes, that's him. Okay, there you go. Michael Williams. Fast is fast. Yeah, a zebra. A zebra. Angela Cellini says Coolidge Bumpler Bell. Coolidge Bumpler Bell. We've got Kathy Dell Hayward Ming says NVCC Dill Brothers, the Dill Brothers. We've got Angeline Butler says Randy Horton. Randy Horton. We've got Lydia Simmons says Glenn and Dirt Simmons from Somerset. We've got Kevin Dill Frank Ming, PhD. Okay, I'm loving this. You all are on fire this morning. You are on fire. All right, what else we got? We got Rohan Simons for Rangers. Rohan Simons for Rangers. This is fun. This is fun. Who else, audience? Who are some of your favorite Bermudian footballers of all time? I'm going to go down a list of I'm going to say, and I'm biased. I've got Kofi Deal. I've got Jamiko Jennings. I've got Ralph Gumbo Bean Jr. Well, we had that earlier. We've got a lot. We've got a lot of people who have contributed to the success of the club. I support it. Meshach Wade, yes. Meshach Wade, says Nicole Walker. We've got Dorian, says the late Edgar Dilly Dick Smith, Quentin Sherlock Sr., John Tucker, Dennis Brown. Dr. Anthony Richardson says Zico Lewis. We've got Mop Aswood, says Kathy Dell here with me. Nicole Walker says Ricky Hill. Okay. All right, folks, this is fun. Anyone else? Corey Hill, during his Vasco days. I'll never forget Jamiko Jennings coming to school saying, man, Corey Hill's like the best in Bermuda. During those Vasco days, Vasco had some teams, boy. Yeah, so they put some well together, put teams in the 90s. We've got Pinks Lewis, says Kathy Dell Hayward Ming. Alan K. Horton says Bernard and George Bregman. WKD Lama says payback. Yes, someone said Dwight Payback Warren earlier. Yep, we said Andrew earlier, but Cameron Fox is right. Andrew David and Herbie Bascom. Yes, some of Bermuda's favorite footballers. Folks, this was Friday Fun Day and your daily discussion. Friday Fun Day brought to you by our friends at Mailboxes, and your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. We've got Alan K. Horton, says Reggie Tucker. We've got Neil Diamond Robinson, says WKD Lama. We've got Angeline Butler, the late Owen Spider Emery for Devonshire Colts. Folks, we've got to bring Teo in for the Daily Hour news break, but before that, let's show some love. Keep your answers coming, folks. Keep your answers coming. We're not going to stop. We're your favorite Bermudian footballer of all time. Keep them coming. We are going to, at this time, show some love to Titan Express and Secure. Then we'll get the news break over to Teo. I don't think he played football. Deal.
The daily discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Visit TitanEXBDA.com, your leading tour and transport provider specializing in Black History tours throughout the island. And SecureBDA.com for all your property management, waste management, residential, and commercial trucking needs. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is our commitment to you.
All right, folks, if you enjoyed that fun conversation, getting us hyped for the game tonight, keep it coming. Who's your favorite Bermudian footballer? Make sure if you're streaming with us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, X, or Instagram, you do us a huge favor. Help us beat the algorithm and give us a like, a love, a follow, share the link with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Don't forget, we've got Solstice coming up. It is World Mental Health Day. We'll be talking with Kelly Madeiros. But before that, let's bring in Teo Dill for your Daily Hour news break.
Morning, fam. Morning, Jay. Welcome to the TDH News Break, brought to you by the great folks at Peoples, who want you to end the week the easy way using their free parking to get all the health, gift, and beauty items you're looking for. Jay, I don't appreciate you highlighting the fact that I didn't play football.
You were a cricket guy, Tate.
Well, no. I went cricket.
You went cricket clinic, I should say.
Right. They put my position, I think you could accurately describe as grass picker.
Yeah. God on the boundary.
Yeah. Then you do your little walk here, then do your little walk back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't really do that in football.
You were there at St. John's, I think, the time. Okay, so I was always on the boundary, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the guys hit a nice high, went coming right to me. So I'm thinking, yeah, right. I'm gonna show him. I learned how to catch. You hold your hands like this, right? Bring them down to your chest.
Yeah.
So I'm right under the ball like this, looking up, and the ball goes right through the hole.
Yeah.
Catches me right in the
foot. That sounds about right for you. Yeah, I tell you,
And
you come from Florida. It's like this.
No, I didn't realize the hole I was making was too big. Coach Manders, I woke up to him slapping my face. You all right, Deal? You all right? Yeah. Go get some drink.
Look, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. I mean, you excelled in other areas. That's what we'll go with.
Right. But I do have a favorite football player.
Okay. Who we got?
Now, this is all bias. 1,000%, nothing but I don't care. My daddy.
All right.
The Boulevard back in the day.
Okay.
And as far as I know, he's still got the record. Andre John Dill got 4 goals and a half in like 72 or something like that. Yeah. But he was nice. I was a great disappointment to him.
I was gonna say I didn't know Pops kicked ball. All right. I knew he had the athletic thing going on, but I didn't know.
Yeah. No. He is a sprinter and a ball player. He was nice. He was nice.
And a sprinter.
Yeah.
So who's fast? You have to take.
See, why but no, you're not gonna take this from me. I held the under 13 high jump record at Work Academy for like 20 years. So you know, I could go up. You know what I'm saying? That's why I went to basketball, because I could jump. Oh yeah, I'm telling you, I dunked in a game once. I mean, it wasn't a clean one. I promise you, this is true. It was the rim at the Work Academy basketball court, closest to the road. You know what I'm saying? Like it used to be right there as you drive past, across from Lindo's.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, right there. Now I call it a dunk, but it was like I basically laid it in just over the rim and I touched the rim a little bit. But for a guy that's 5'7", I think that's saying something. You know what I mean?
I ain't buying it, folks. I'm not buying it, folks. I need to see him do it now.
Oh, bruh. I think I could touch the net. I think.
Audience, do you believe Taylor's story? Do you believe he almost dunked it? Yes or no? Do you believe him?
Look, you can ask the members of my, well, not all of them, because a lot of them didn't care, but the guys from the class of 97, specifically music class, you ask them if take a jump, they'll tell you.
Okay. All right.
I don't appreciate the skepticism. I really don't.
No, I'm taking your word for it, bro. I'm taking your word.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
I can't dispute it.
That's a better answer.
I need to reach out to some folks I know who went Work Academy.
Yeah. Please do. I'm encouraging you to do it.
Miss Horton wants to know. She wants to know, how high did you jump?
Honestly, I don't remember, but I know it beat everybody. It's not a record.
Mm.
It was like the ball was like here.
I had a joke about Work Academy students not being able to jump, but it's too many of you. I ain't trying to get jumped, so I'll leave it alone.
Yeah, you bet. I'm glad you checked yourself.
Two of my sisters went to Work Academy. I'm not going to do it.
You about to have some problems.
Might get jumped at Christmas.
Speaking of problems, well, not so serious problems. Another serious weather system is headed our way, but thankfully it's expected to keep its general distance from the island. Now, Tropical Storm Jerry, the 10th named storm of the Atlantic hurricane season, which should become a hurricane the next day or so, is causing tropical storm watches and warnings throughout the Eastern Caribbean. From Anguilla to St. Martin, they're facing flash flooding, heavy rain, strong winds, the whole shebang. It's rolling up, as you can see, the Atlantic to our northeast, no close to a direct hit, but will likely be strong enough to impact our weather for at least part of the weekend, the end of the weekend, I should say. We're still on track for an above-average hurricane season with another 8 storms expected over the next couple of weeks. Typical season has 14.
You know what I learned recently? That this is one of the first summers in like 10 years or something that the U.S. has not been directly hit.
I was just talking to my sister about that.
I don't want to go off track. But Teo, I will bet you a certain president's going to take credit for no hurricane. Man, that's opening my mind. I'm like, bro's probably going to be like, yeah, I did this down in Florida, and so we pushed the winds away. Like, I guarantee you, bro. I just know how bro moves. Like, I know how he moves.
Well done. I didn't think of that, and I think you're absolutely
people
right.
are gonna buy it. They're gonna buy it. They're gonna believe. See, we don't even have hurricanes anymore.
Mm-hmm. That little what's the name? Carolyn Levitt, the
Yeah.
White House spokesperson, she is going to devote like
Eat it
30
up.
minutes to
Eat it
bigging
up.
up his meteorological power. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
No, she is.
Ugh.
You all think I'm joking. You don't.
No, you're right. I
Yeah.
believe you. Now, we know that Bermudians love to travel, and as of next Monday, heading to the European Union will be a little bit more complicated for local Europhiles. Basically, we're in the category of countries that will need to use a new entry system for short-stay Schengen visas. The Schengen areas where physical borders between 29 member countries have been removed, which makes up a majority of European travel destinations. This new digital border check system will keep track of non-EU citizens, i.e. Bermudians, ever since the UK decided to Brexit, just saying, as they enter and exit the Schengen zone. So when you arrive now in a Schengen country, as of Monday, I should say, you're going to have to hit a specific booth to have some new data collected. It's similar to arriving in the US, like your personal info, passport data, and now the facial image and fingerprints situation. So it's going to be a little bit of a thing.
So I had to go and look up which countries it is, and there's basically all the European countries people like to visit.
Right.
France, Spain, Portugal, Greece, it's not the Russias of the world and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, no, Russia will never join the European Union. But let me say, as long as Vladimir Putin is alive.
Yeah, and not Switzerland either. But I don't like that, but it's not a big thing. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. I already think airports inconvenience is enough. Like it takes so long to get through. But I get for safety measures, I guess. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the way the world's going, right? Like, and I mean, it's a little terrifying. I don't know if you saw, what's the guy's name? Peter Thiel, one of the leading billionaires that supported President Trump's electoral success, like really, really intense. Like he's the guy that got JD Vance in the position as vice president. Mm-hmm. He has this company called Palantir, which is like a military cyber company, mm-hmm. and they're literally rolling out in the US this new surveillance system that will allow the government, the state, to keep track of everybody in the way that you see in dystopian science fiction movies. Like just because you have your phone, they will know exactly where you are, what you're eating, what you're saying, and it's ostensibly because of national security, but it's terrifying, especially now under these.
Absolutely, it's strange.
Yeah, well, it's coming. Now, in other news, the city of Hamilton's recent loss to the Privy Council again against the government, which allows for the comprehensive legislative reform of the municipalities, is a big deal. It's been kicking around for about 15 years, and whenever the community's been polled on the subject, we have broadly been against it, at least. Like we've actually been really against it. However, I served in the Senate, like we were talking about yesterday, during the first attempt at this kind of reform, and in this current ongoing kerfuffle about it, I haven't heard anyone make the most central argument, which underlines how odd maintaining the status quo is in the 21st century. So in this case, in Hamilton and St. George's, companies, aka business ratepayers, get to vote right alongside residents, i.e. citizens. This is odd because the system doesn't exist nearly anywhere else on earth. It's just us, as you can see here, the city of London, Guernsey, then not so much in the Isle of Man and Hong Kong. It all dates back to the 19th century when local government was really about property and commerce, not citizenship. If you paid taxes, you got to say. If you didn't get a vote. But by last century, universal suffrage took hold around the world, and almost everywhere else on earth scrapped that property-based franchise. The argument is in favor of maintaining the system is that since companies fund most city services, they should get the vote. Now, the problem with that argument is that you can make the same one for the national government because payroll tax makes up the biggest share of our revenue sources, which is to say it's paid by companies. Now, critics of the municipal status quo call it a relic of another era, one that gives corporate interests a louder voice than the people who actually live there. So that's why then and now, it just makes sense to me. Like people vote, not people that pay money. What do you think?
It's weird because I agree, and like we don't need, especially as small as Bermuda is, we don't need these separate governmental.
Well, that too. I didn't mention that.
Yeah, I agree with that, but it makes me think when only the business owners or business people could vote. It takes me back to when certain people couldn't vote. Like only people with property could vote. That's one. The other part about this is I get the concerns that many of the public have, feeling like, well, this government can't manage their affairs now. Why give them more, right? But I don't think we should be looking at it in that shallow manner, because this government's not always going to be the government of the day.
Right.
So I'm challenged with it, but I get it.
Yeah, no, I understand the pushback. You know, it reminds me of the independence argument, right? Because especially since Bermudians are entitled now to live and work in the UK, like immediately, it's like I think that independence, by definition, right, like being genuinely in charge of what you do and how you function as a community, is just a non-negotiable necessity. But arguing against it now with so many Bermudians living and thriving in the UK, it's like, you'd be voting against your own interest, like your own real material interest. And I can't argue it without, sounding silly. I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, shout out to the Gumbe Warriors in advance as we count down to their CONCACAF World Cup qualifying match against Trinidad and Tobago at the Dame Floor National Sports Center. As you know, this particular game is especially consequential for both teams because it's a crucial opportunity to stay in the race for the FIFA World Cup. And the only group winners automatically qualify for the tournament. Neither team won on their first two match days. We lost twice, while Trinidad and Tobago earned 1 point from a draw against Curacao. That said, the path to the World Cup's really narrow for both teams to catch up with Jamaica, who has the strongest squad in the bracket and is already on top of the group with 2 wins. But yeah, hopefully everybody's able to support the group.
Yeah, first victory coming up tonight, folks. First victory coming up tonight. Don't worry about that. We got this, Tay. We got this.
Like the way you talk. I like the way you talk, brother.
Yeah,
that sounds good to me.
Yeah. Maybe I'll send a rude text to Guy Moreno after the show.
You know what? I thought about it to send him an email.
No, I was thinking about trash talking. I'm like, no, I'm a trash talking before. I'm gonna give it to him before. I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna say on the show. There's children watching.
But that's the only way to trash talk properly, right?
Right.
Like everybody confident when they up, right? But when you're not up and you still talking that talk, you're about something. I know. Now, weather-wise, this weekend should get much more cloudy and windy than the first chunk of weather we've experienced this week. This is all due to the combination of impacts, cold front that is heading on from the north, merging with southerly tropical moisture, keeping skies gray and the air windy, and tropical storm Jerry's distant approach. These two things are going to give us a bunch more rain and a bunch more wind than we have experienced over the last few days. But it shouldn't last too long. But again, we have another 3 weeks or so between now and the end of the hurricane season. Do not sleep. Stay woke. We are getting some more storms headed our way. I promise you.
I don't like that promise, Tay. Thank you so much, Tay. Days of the year. Obviously, it's World Mental Health Day, and we'll speak with our guests after.
I think, I'm not sure if this is me or Jay, but the stream is going a little sloppy. Okay, so the stream has gone sloppy, where it is just me now, and I apologize because I am not entirely sure what to do next. I'm sure Jay will be back in a second, and what I would like to do to fill some time is to again emphasize the fact that I'm telling the absolute truth about the story of my Jumping Ability at Work Academy. I guarantee you it's true. And Jay, yeah, I was filling because you went off the stream for a second.
Something happened. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I was just emphasizing the fact that everything I said about my Jumping Ability Award Academy was true, because I still felt your cynicism and skepticism. I needed to talk to the audience by ourselves to convince them that I'm legit.
Oh, you spent that time trying to act like you really jumped high.
Why did you use the verb act like or act?
Sorry, Tay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I take that back.
All right.
Tay, thank you for that. But it is I was saying it's World Mental Health Day. We'll speak to our guests about that, but it's also World Plant-Based Burger Day. So why are you messing up his face? I want to ask you in the audience, what do you put on your plant-based burgers? Don't say bacon.
No, I was gonna say the top of the container to give it to somebody else.
Hey, you don't enjoy a plant-based burger?
No, and that may be because I've never had a good one. You know what I'm saying? Like I accept that, but I don't really believe it. I accept the possibility, but no. If I'm having a burger, I'm gonna have a burger, bro.
This is the man who let us know he had a horse burger in Switzerland, so I get it.
Exactly. Yeah, right.
He likes real meat.
Exactly.
Hey, have a wonderful weekend. Love you, bro.
I appreciate you, man.
Uh-oh. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. Do not go anywhere. Some challenges over this side this morning. All righty.
Take a look at our workwear for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Pair with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Discover Drop It, your go-to grocery delivery. Browse and select from a wide range of groceries, from fresh produce to daily essentials. Our friendly drivers deliver fresh groceries to your door fast, saving you time and hassle. With Drop It, you get fresh groceries delivered fast so you can focus on what really matters. Drop It, freshness at your doorstep, delivered to your door with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
At HSBC, how we do business in our community is as important to us as what we do for our community.
We are here at Hungary Bay with HSBC today. We're planting over 500 mangroves using 2 different methods. This work is very vital for our mangrove ecosystem and it would not be possible without HSBC's generous support.
I am super happy that we have a team here of colleagues helping us replant some of the mangroves. Mangroves are critical for preserving coastal nature, and with recent hurricanes they have been taken away by waves. By replanting them, we are really helping nature be at its best.
Thank you so much for HSBC for sponsoring the Microforest Project, but by extension, the Hungary Bay Restoration Project.
Thank you to all of the charities, corporate partners, and HSBC volunteers for your commitment to our community.
SCARS stands for Saving Children and Revealing Secrets, and we are a Bermuda nonprofit organization whose mission is to reduce the risk of child sexual abuse and to be an advocate and a voice for children who've been sexually molested, as well as their affected family. New media like the Daily Hour is really important in partnering with organizations like SCARS. It's another platform for us for awareness There can be no radio silence as it relates to child sexual abuse, and we need as many initiatives as we can get. We need to keep this message alive. In terms of us and the work that we do, live engagement is good because it allows the audience to ask questions, to make comments, even to provide us with encouragement and support. What I love about the live engagement when Scars is being interviewed by Jamal is just this feeling of safety, this feeling that he gets it. He cares about children. It's a connection.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Big Show. Jamal Hartman here. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, People's Pharmacy, and a big shout out to HSBC Bermuda for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves on Hot 107.5 with these most important community conversations. Don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right. Without further ado, and apologies for the challenges that we seem to be having, but let's give a warm TDH welcome to our very special guest for the day. And we want to know what she puts on her plant-based burgers as well. Let's welcome Kelly Madeiros from Solstice. Hey, Kelly, how are you?
I'm good, Jamal. How are you?
I'm okay. Little technical difficulties. I think people don't like me dissing Teo and his high jump, but other than that, it's a good day. Before we get into the conversation, though, I asked a few people what do they like on their plant-based burgers. We've asked this question before, and we've had some ridiculous answers like bacon, right? But what do you like on yours?
I would say bacon too, but
seriously.
No, but I do like a plant-based burger. So, but I would say mayonnaise and pickles.
Okay, mayonnaise and pickles. Well, pickles go on a burger. I mean, we have a colleague named Teray. Yep, called her name. She likes pickles in her popcorn. So at least you're normal than that. But no, thank you for doing this. Appreciate you stopping by and your patience as we were dealing with some challenges. But before we jump into the conversation, just remind people a bit about who you are and what it is that you do.
Yeah. So I'm right now the managing director and co-founder of a mental wellness center in Bermuda. We are the largest private mental wellness center who deals with and works with the whole kind of lifespan. So from the ages as early as 2, all the way to kind of older adults who might be thinking about their adult mental health or their caregivers. And so as people kind of go through the age, the age span, they start to think about their mental health, whether we're thinking about dementia or Alzheimer's or memory loss, things like that. But we also work with just young as 2. We have a whole breadth of people at our firm. So we have psychiatry, we have psychology, we have art therapy, we have play therapy, and people who do a whole breadth of different therapies at Solstice. So that's me. I've been in this field for over 25 years. So I've seen the landscape of mental health in Bermuda, having worked with the Department of Family Services, MWI, court services, and now 10 years ago, we opened Solstice just to try and meet a need that we thought was really important.
Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you. Today, as I mentioned, it's World Mental Health Day. Kelly, why is it so important for us to recognize this day in Bermuda?
Yeah, it's not only World Mental Health Day, but it is World Homeless Day. And I do want to give a shout out to all of the amazing people who work and help run Home, the charity that does work with the homeless people. And I do want to give them a bit of a plug. They are holding an event tonight at Masterworks, which is free, starting at 6 p.m. And some of the people who work with Home are going to talk about stories of homelessness. And I think that's really relevant to mental health. Having worked before in homeless shelters, I can tell you that mental health can affect anybody. You can come from any walk of life. You can have anything happen to you that you didn't know was going to happen to you in the near future. And you can experience a mental health experience, which can lead to then homelessness. And so I think it's interesting that the two of them fall on the same day, because if you just take a moment to hear people's stories, if they do have a mental health issue or they do become homeless, you will recognize that everybody has a story to tell. And if we just listen with some care and compassion around these stories, we can understand and maybe help people a little bit more in our community. But I think, World Mental Health Day today is just a time for everybody to reflect on where we come from and where we're going, and how important our mental health is. And I think that the people who work in mental health often do try to get the message out that your mental health is as important as your physical health. And a lot of times because of, and we know the number one reasons people don't reach out for mental health support is because of stigma. And we're really trying to change that.
So let's talk about stigma a bit. Like how does Solstice work to break the stigma around mental health wellness?
Yeah, so when we created Solstice, we wanted a place that felt like a home. When you walked in, you didn't feel like you were walking into an institution. You were welcomed by welcoming people, that the spaces that the people were going to be entering were going to feel comfortable, that we met people where they're at. So not everybody wants to come into the office, and we're very open to meeting people where they're at, whether it's in the park or at schools or in their homes or online. And so, we've got to reduce stigma. We also try to bring in different forms of mental health interventions. For example, we have things like our surf therapy, which is quite popular and the kids love it, but it's introducing ways of resilience and social mental regulation, emotional regulation with the children. And we also will be offering that to the adults. But also with our groups. So we have a really big children's program. So children whose parents, or teachers, they think there's something that's not working well for them. There's something that they could learn to be better in terms of coping or managing their emotions or some social skills. And so we have a group on Saturdays that sees children over the day, and it's groups of good fit. And you're bringing children from all over the island. And we are very specific in those groups and who we put in those groups, because we want those kids to feel like they belong and they can learn skills that they might not otherwise learn in school environments where they might be getting teased or bullied. And so those are ways that we try to reduce stigma by building the skills, by building resilience, getting them to learn the language, and hopefully that's some part of the prevention of what's going on. We also have things like Tree of Life workshops, which is not an invasive mental health intervention, and we can do this with individuals, but we have typically done them with groups, whether it's in the community or with organizations. And it's really it's a narrative-based approach of introducing mental health into where we look at someone's kind of roots. And it's a strength-based approach, like really appreciating the roots and what your strengths are and what gifts you give to people and what gifts people have given to you. And I don't think we often take a moment to sit and reflect on that narrative. We often get caught up in a negative narrative about ourselves because of what people may have said to us or what we see on social media. And so, we try to get approaches where we try to shift that narrative and how people think about ourselves. And what we have found in these organizations or these meetings is actually we as a community do share so much in common. And so we just need to figure out how do we build on those strengths.
How has the approach to mental health changed over the years? In a Bermuda context, we've just learned that with the amount of shooting murders in particular, there are more children who are growing up without key important people in their lives due to senseless gun murder. But there's also the social media impact. We live in a time where there's this comparative living at younger ages, young children posting on Instagram or TikTok and not getting the following or the same amount of likes or the attention that they like. Like how has the approach, because of those two things in particular, and as well as other things, changed how we approach mental health now?
Yeah, I absolutely 100%. We are seeing an increase in people coming with mental health concerns to all of the agencies throughout Bermuda. Now, whether it's because we are doing a good job at trying to promote anti-stigma and trying to get people more comfortable, 100% we have to take what's going on in our community very serious. When we talk about intergenerational trauma, we're looking at a whole group of children right now who are experiencing that through the loss of their loved ones because of violence in our community. And I think, for the first time in my career in over 25 years in Bermuda, there is a very strong collaboration going on, better than I've ever experienced in my time here. The people aren't working in silos right now. We've got a lot of it was spearheaded by Dan Kavanaugh's research that he did a couple years ago in adolescent mental health. And what we saw was actually Bermuda youth are 5 to 6% more affected by mental health than our global statistics. And so I think our community has taken that research because we had some valid numbers to work with, and we've started to work with it. So in the last year, driven by that kind of research, the Ministry of Health have really taken on driving this, and then the community, like private sectors like Solstice, Family Center charities, and a lot of other charities, Home, and I don't want to start naming them because I'll miss lots, but there is a huge collaborative going on behind the scenes that people might not know about, and it is because of that research that's going on. And there are free services, and I think that's the message that we are getting out there to people so that they can access. There is a lot of work. We do a lot of pro bono work. We see a lot of people for either free or low cost. But stakeholders, so there's a stakeholder meeting, KPMG and the Ministry of Health are driving a mental health plan, and everybody, there's tons of people that are around the table right now collaborating on how do we implement the strategies that came out of this mental health plan report. There's anti-stigma campaigns, and I think that the number one thing that people aren't accessing mental health care is because of stigma, and we really have to start talking about mental health because it's the only way we're going to get better.
Well, and in your experience, how does caring for mental health impact our daily lives versus not caring at all?
Yeah, so I'd be curious to being what would make someone not want to care about their mental health. It's this message that if our physical health is as important as our mental health, our brain is an organ of our body, as is our heart and our lungs, our skin. And so what is it about the brain that we are worried about telling someone something's not feeling right? And so there's things like stigma, and this is why this big collaboration of people in Bermuda right now are really trying to focus in and hone in on how do we destigmatize people reaching out for help. Family stories, we know historically families haven't always been supportive in having their family members reach out for mental health because they think it's going to mean something automatic medication, and that's not the case. Everybody does an assessment, and if medication is an option for treatment, then it's an option that's on the table and doesn't necessarily need to be taken. But, I would say if someone's not caring about their mental health, I would also wonder, is that part of their own mental health? Because not caring is actually a symptom of a mental health disorder. Not having energy, not caring about ourselves, not caring about others, that could be a symptom of something bigger than just not caring.
Indeed. Thank you so much. And with the amount of people who are now very public about having a therapist or seeking mental health support, organizations like yours, and you have some people who are even smaller who have started their practices and the like. And that's where, the support from organizations like the BEDC comes in, right? How has the support of the Bermuda Economic Development Corporation helped Solstice expand and scale its mental health mission in Bermuda?
The BEDC has been a really great support for us. We started over, 10 years ago, we did the Streetwise MBA, and I know Stephen Johnson was on a couple of days ago, and he was talking about the impact. We were actually in the same cohort, Stephen Johnson of SJD World and us, Solstice. We were in the same cohort doing the Streetwise MBA, and that, we weren't business people. We were clinicians. We were psychologists and social worker trying to offer a space in Bermuda that we thought was missing for mental health care for children and adults and families and couples. We didn't know how to read a profit and loss statement. And so this course was so instrumental in where we are today, because it gave us such the basic foundations of how do you got to think about running a business, and knowing your numbers was key. So that was really important. I think just being connected to an organization that cares deeply about entrepreneurship, building entrepreneurs in Bermuda, building jobs, supporting, being there, being invited to workshops and trainings and everything that BEDC has stood for and it does on a day-to-day basis. It really has been just really great to have that support and that foundation that they gave us. And I think, interesting for you, Jamal, I think it's knowing how significant mental health plays on entrepreneurs. So, it is, entrepreneurs actually have higher rates of mental illness or a mental health disorder in their lifetime. And they'll go even as high rates as 87% of entrepreneurs. And so I think it's really important that if there are people out there who own their own business or starting their own business, is thinking about how do I take care of my own mental health? Because the high rates of burnout, of stress, of anxiety, of feeling alone, it's one thing to be the face of a business, but I can speak personally and says, it comes with its ups and downs. You love the product and you're passionate about what you do, but maintaining a business and keeping everybody else's mental health and keep, you started with people don't like coming to their jobs all the time. And so the responsibility of being an entrepreneur is how can I get my space, a place that people want to come and love to come to work every day.
Indeed.
So I think BEDC also have that in mind. And they're there to support entrepreneurs because it can be a very kind of stressful space to be in.
Audience, if you have any questions or comments, please send them through. But I since we're on that, I want to go. Let's go to the business. Let's transition to the business side, because I mentioned on the show recently. A lady friend of mine, she spoke about how her organization, her company, has one mental health day a month, and I don't think, it's just real. I mean, I don't think we need any real data or stats, but let's be honest. A lot of people we know, they go to work simply because they need to pay bills. They likely don't like the job. They don't like what they do. It's not something new. It's just, that's age old, right? But why is it so important for the business community to support new and small mental health related practices? And when I say support you all, utilize you, bring you in, seek your advice as to how can we get the best and make sure that our staff are in the best mental space and the like what that collaboration, what does that look like, and how can we make sure it becomes a thing?
Yeah, the data absolutely supports that. If you have more healthy employees, the more productive and the better the environment's going to be. And so again, it goes back to, this isn't just a physical health issue, this is a mental health issue. And those genuine check-ins are going to be important. And I think the business community can support mental health agencies and their employees by thinking about incorporating wellness workshops. Also we have an employee assistance program, which I know many programs do, and Solstice is really excited to be kind of coming into that round, offering a bit of a different kind of employee assistance program, because we have such a breadth of offerings at Solstice, whether it's nutrition or our group program or play therapy, art therapy. We can deal with children and families. And I think it's not just the employee, it is also their immediate families that also, if something's going on in the home, the employee also isn't going to be doing well. And, I think some of the other ways that the business community can support EAPs or the mental health in Bermuda is potentially partnering with a charity and having funds directly supported to wanting to be supported to their clients' mental health treatment or intervention, because there are different things that people need. And I will say we've been very public about our partnership with Out Bermuda. Out Bermuda has been very public with ours because we have been able to advertise that there are funders out there who donate to Out Bermuda in order for people who identify or in the LGBTQ community who can't afford and need to receive mental health care. And I will say this, over the last year, our data has shown how much this offering has helped people in our community. And this data for me is staggering. It's because the people who reached out for the help through this this funding are people who normally don't reach out for mental health care. And so for me, this is amazing. So of all the people, I think we did 33 clients or 152 sessions. So of those, 69% of those people did not identify as white. And I say that because those who don't identify as white are historically the people who do not reach out for mental health care. And I don't think we need to, for me, that's an exciting number because we reached people who historically do not come from mental health care more than people who identify as white. 66% of those people were under the age of 35. We know that young people sometimes we're getting better, but 66% of those people were under 33, 35. And 60% of those people were male. Historically, men don't reach out as often as females. So it's this kind of data that with the business community support and supporting charities or making a financial contribution to mental health organizations like Solstice, we can make a big difference for the people who can't afford it because they come, it's anonymous. They feel well treated, well respected. It's not stigmatized because it's not a space where they may get teased.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Thank you for that data. We've got a comment from Richard Scott. It says, this may have been mentioned or suggested previously, but perhaps it's time for us to treat mental health in a broader sense in that of encouraging everyone to have a yearly checkup, just like we are encouraged to have a yearly physical health checkup, just a suggestion of prevention and cure. Now, there have been times where people have suggested stuff or spoken about this and saying that, our health insurance should cover mental health as well. I'm sure you have very broad thoughts on all of this, but please.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And we recently have brought on our team a psychologist called Dr. Dale Thomas, and he, until coming here, and is actually currently out in Bosnia with the Great Britain Paralympic team. So he does performance, sport, and clinical psychology. And I say that to say his performance psychology is not around there's an illness, but rather he loves working with people around I've kind of hit my plateau, but I know I can do better, and what's blocking me from being better. So reaching out into mental health care, yes, absolutely doing a mental health check-in is great. We all have mental health. We all have good days. We all have bad days. It's how long do those bad days last? But also we have organizational psychologists and performance psychologists who actually can say, you know what, there's something blocking me from being the best version of myself I can be, whether that's corporate or sport or school or something. And so there are techniques that we can absolutely help people with to get over those roadblocks.
Indeed. We've got another one, WKD Lama asking, do you support governments banning social media for children?
The data would support, I don't think banning it completely, but I think within the schools, I know that there was some discussion around whether or not it was right or not. I think there does need to be some controls. I would encourage everyone on Monday, there's going to be a great panel discussion at the Bermuda College. One of our psychologists, Dr. Shawnee Basden, is going to be on that panel, and that is going to be specific around mental health, violence, and the use of social media. So if that is something that's interesting for you, there's going to be a great panel of experts going to be at the Bermuda College at 6 p.m. That's part of Mental Health Month. And I would encourage people to attend that for sure.
All right. One final question from the audience. Dr. Anthony Richardson's asking, has modern medicine accepted mental health as being connected to overall health? Could this be why insurance companies tend not to cover mental health?
I'm not sure to the answer. I will say we do need to consider mental health as equal as physical health. Just recently, though, I will say Argus, because this is something that we discuss very openly, because it's not treated equally in the insurance world, and we are a insurance-based country right now. And so Argus has recently increased their coverage of mental health support, which has been very exciting for many people in the community. But we do still struggle with other insurance companies around covering other than psychology or online therapy, which is how people can access mental health. So, for example, GHI at the moment only covers psychology and psychiatry. They do not cover anyone other than a psychologist for mental health counseling, and they don't cover telehealth online sessions. And so we've been advocating for them to really recognize the importance of how we can access people better if that can get covered.
All righty. You've been doing some other things. Solstice recently awarded some scholarships. Why is it so important for Solstice to give back in this way as it relates to mental health and the field in general?
Yeah, so when we created Solstice, one of the main commitments we knew we were going to make was to the Bermudian population and being able to offer pathways for Bermudians to come and get training so that they could get in programs of their choice. Having worked in other agencies and organizations in the island, I used to get people knocking on my door all the time asking for practicums, internships, because they needed their hours to get specific qualifications, or they needed the experience to apply into different programs. And there was so much red tape around allowing these students, people of Bermuda to try and get in. So when we created Solstice, we knew it was going to be a place where people could come in, learn, be mentored, get supervision, get the training that they needed to get into the programs of their choice. So that was over 10 years ago. And this is probably one of our favorite aspects of Solstice, is working with young people, is watching them get into the programs. Last year we had Ashley Lamb get into med school. We've had many people get into psychology programs and counseling programs, drama therapy. And so this, just having these young people, and so they come in and they're allowed, they get exposure to different kinds of psychologists, different kind of mental health professionals. And they get the necessary experience to be able to successfully get into the programs of their choice. When they get off, they've given so much, and our hope is by providing these kinds of scholarships, it helps not only financially, but that we're recognizing how important they are to Solstice, to Bermuda, to our community, and hopefully once they go away and get the trainings they need, they're going to come back. And just this year we had our first opportunity with that. Dr. Lizzie McManus was one of our first interns 10 years ago. She got experience. She went back to the UK. She finished her degree. She got some practical experience out there before returning home last year, contacted us, and we've now employed her full time. And that is our hope, that for every one of our interns or our psychology assistants, that they'll go away, come back, and Bermuda needs them, and we want them to come back. And so by providing the little support, because yes, the $10,000 we came up with may seem little in comparison to some of the bigger companies, but that support is really our thanking them and our invitation to be like, please stay connected and please come back because we need you, Bermuda needs you, and don't stay away for too long.
Kelly, how can people get in touch with you after listening to you this morning if they wanted to learn more or even just reach out to benefit from the Services Solstice office?
Of course. So info at Solstice, SOLSTICE.BM, info at solstice.bm, or people can call at 292-3456, 292-3456. And we welcome everyone. We haven't heard anything that we wouldn't try and discuss and handle. Nothing is a stupid question. No concern is a stupid concern. We really invite everybody to, if it's not to us, and you are experiencing some kind of mental health symptom, or you're not sure if it's a symptom, that you reach out to one of the mental health agencies in Bermuda. We all work collaboratively. We're there to support each other. If you come to Solstice, we try to pair you with someone who might be a good fit given their expertise, but it doesn't need to be that person. And nobody cares if someone's like, you know what, that's not a great fit for me. And I tell people all the time, therapy's like shopping. You have to find that perfect fit to really make it work. And we really want people to reach out and not allow stigma or the thought of, people are going to call me names or crazy if I don't attend. And really, there's so many great events out this month. Keep an eye out for the events. There's lots of people you can meet who are in the mental health field. The panel on Monday is going to talk about social media and violence in our children. MWI are doing an open house on the 25th. There's a youth mental health summit that's happening. There's a mental health conference on the 29th and 30th of October this month. That's free to the Bermuda public. And so we just need to get the word out and get people talking mental health.
Indeed. Kelly, thank you so much for making time and having this conversation on this day with us. Please don't be a stranger. And folks, reach out if you or someone who can benefit from the Services Solstice offers. Please reach out. Kelly, have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Jamal. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Kelly, Madeiros, folks, if you've appreciated the conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share a conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. We're going to take a final break. After this break, we'll come back, and I'm going to give a prize to the first person who answers correctly on my screen, the Daily Play today. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back after this.
Being from this little island, like yourself, we knew you needed access to reliable shipping. We set up mailboxes so you can skip all the long waits or held up in customs excuses.
With mailboxes, that won't happen. Get your packages in under 48 hours using our dashboard.
Plus, if you're a planner or headerer, our weekly consolidation service might be for you. We hold your packages in Delaware and ship them together to save you big time on shipping fees.
And with our warehouse being in Delaware, that means 0% sales tax. Pretty cool, right guys?
For over 70 years, Bermuda Pest Control has been protecting homes and businesses island-wide. We offer a full suite of services, including rodent control, termite fumigation, and general insect control and maintenance. Our team of experts will quickly and efficiently eliminate any pest problem you may have. With Bermuda Pest Control, you can enjoy a pest-free home in no time. We're committed to providing fast, reliable, and solution-driven services for our customers. It's what we've been doing since 1952. Call Bermuda Pest Control today and say goodbye to pests for good.
Looking for the best care for your pets? Nova's Ark Feed and Supply has everything you need, from top quality foods to toys and supplies. We've got it all. Join our frequent buyer program and earn rewards every time you shop. Plus, we've been awarded the Clever Customer Initiative program for helping you save more. And don't forget, we open an hour early on Saturdays so you can get a head start on your pet care. Visit us today or shop online for easy pickup or delivery. Your pets will thank you.
Dreaming of expanding your business? With BEDC's Loan Guarantee Program, we support your ambitions. Get up to 75% guarantee on bank or credit union loans up to $300,000. Just your vision and our support. Apply today and unlock new business opportunities. BEDC, Bermuda Business starts here.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Big Show. Thanks again to Kelly Madeiros of Solstice and BDC for ensuring we can speak to so many vendors in Bermuda. Folks, I just want to give a shout out to the BAC group of companies, Medical House Lenders, People's Pharmacy, HSBC, for ensuring we can have these conversations with you on a regular basis. It is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, it's the things you should know. First person to answer correctly on my screen gets $25 voucher to a sponsor of their choice. All right, here we go. Audience, which planet is closest to the sun? Stacey Ann Brown, I'm going to say she did not use Google. She knew that. She's brilliant. Stacey Ann Brown, send us an email to engage@thedailyhour.com so that we can get you your $25 voucher. Akita Lee said Venus. Nicole Walker got it as well. Dr. Anthony Richardson got it. WKD Lama got it. All right. So, Stacey Ann Brown showed up first. But, folks, we've got to let you run. But I'll just wrap it up. Thank you so much for participating in the daily discussion this morning, Friday Fun Day. Bermuda had some very talented and exciting footballers over the years, and I hope that means that we will go out, whether we go to the game or watch online or really just show support in any way we can. Hopefully this means we will do just that, support our national team as they continue their group phase of the World Cup qualifiers against Trinidad and Tobago tonight. As far as the conversation with Kelly Madeiros, I always love speaking to entrepreneurs, but I absolutely adore and appreciate more conversations about mental health. Everyone is okay until they're not, right? So I'm grateful that they have the support of the BEDC, and they are growing and even giving back scholarships to empower others who would love to be in this space as well. So things are changing. One insurance company at a time may start seeing mental health and supporting mental health like we do our physical health. And on that note, I'll give you this daily inspiration, and I'll just tell you, folks, sometimes we don't know until we experience. And it's nothing like if you know someone or yourself could benefit from just having a conversation with someone else, just reach out. You never know what others may see in you that could help you. You don't have to go at it alone. Life is not here for us to go at it alone. So please, if you or anyone you know is in need of someone to talk to or someone to help with whatever it is you may be going through, whether that's just a bad day at work that can spiral into something else, reach out to someone. And if you feel you have no one to talk to, reach out to a Solstice. They're the experienced people who can probably assist you in whatever you are going through. All right, folks, in the meantime, please, whatever platform you're on, just make sure you give us a like, love, follow, share the link with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lenders, People's Pharmacy, and a big shout out to HSBC Bermuda for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves on Hot 107.5 with these most important community conversations. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. Monday. Monday. I won't be here tomorrow. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great weekend. We are Izzo. Peace.